In the ever-evolving world of multiplayer shooters, few stories are as poignant as that of Concord. Developed by Firewalk Studios and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, this hero shooter aimed to carve its niche in a saturated market. But despite years of development and high expectations, Concord's journey was short-lived. Concord was one of, if not the most, doomed to fail and unwanted gaming disasters of recent time. This is the rise and spectacular fall of Concord, one of the biggest gaming blunders in recent memory. A $200 million in the drain, the hero shooter backed by PlayStation that was shut down. Just 11 days after launch. Let's delve into the rise and fall of this ambitious project. It all starts in 2018 with a new studio, Firewalk Studios. Founded by industry veterans from Bungie, Infinity Ward, and Respawn, people who helped shape Call of Duty, Destiny, Apex Legends, you'd expect something special, and Sony saw it too. In 2023, PlayStation outright acquired Firewalk after being impressed by what they were cooking up. Immediately acquired and started working on a new looter shooter and entered Concord. What was it? Leaks hinted at a stylish hero shooter inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy with strong gunplay. Hype was building. It was promising because of the new developer in the gaming industry. Comprised of veterans from Bungie, the studio quickly garnered attention. In 2023, Sony acquired Firewalk, signaling a significant investment in their upcoming projects. Under Sony's wing, Firewalk embarked on its maiden project, Concord. This hero shooter, set in a retro-futuristic sci-fi universe, promised dynamic team-based combat and unique character abilities. The game had the backing of Sony, a talented dev team from Bungie alumni, and a next-gen engine. Yet it failed to find an audience and was shut down within weeks of launch. Was it the lack of identity? Poor timing? Oversaturation of the hero shooter market? Or maybe a deeper issue with how live service games are handled today? Drop your thoughts below. I'm curious to read every comment. So, moving on. Let's talk about what really caused Concord to crash and burn. Development began in earnest, with the game utilizing Unreal Engine 5 to deliver next-gen visuals. The team worked tirelessly, and after approximately 8 years, Concord was ready for its debut. On May 24, 2023, Concord was officially announced during the PlayStation Showcase. A beta followed in July 2024, but player numbers were underwhelming. Despite this, the full release proceeded. On May 30, 2024, PlayStation's State of Play. Concord takes the spotlight. The first real-look trailer. We got a 5-minute CGI cinematic of a crew doing a heist, full of Marvel-style quips, a burger, and Star-Lord light characters. Then, boom! It's a 5 vs 5 hero shooter. People felt duped. Stylish reveal, but hiding the fact it's a PvP hero shooter until after the cinematic? Bad move. By July 2024, the beta phase begins. Early access for pre-orders. Firewalk gave out up to 5 friend codes per pre-order to get more player base invest in. Even with that, the player base numbers were low. For context, Marvel Rivals, another hero shooter in beta at the same time, had 20 times the player base. And when the open beta hit, only 2,338 peak players on Steam. Ouch, that alone tells us no one wants to play this or even pre-order the game. Sure, some people like the gunplay and visuals, but the most common question was, why is this $40? In a genre now dominated by free-to-play, that was a huge red flag. On August 23, 2024, Concord launched on PlayStation 5 and Windows PC. The game featured a roster of unique characters, each with distinct abilities, aiming to offer a fresh take on the hero shooter genre. So, on August the 23rd, 2024, Concord launches. This is it. Their chance to prove everyone wrong. But the player counts on Steam was pretty poor, a horrifying 697 peak on launch day, not even hitting 1,000 player mark. To compare the peak player base, the Avengers game. At launch peaked over 31,000 players. The Suicide Squad. At launch peaked over 13,000 players. Similar to Concord. Another shooter game called The Lawbreakers peaked over 7,500 players. Or even the Lords of the Rings Gollum game had more players, peaking over 758 players playing the game at launch. However, the reception was not as anticipated. Critics noted that while the shooting mechanics were solid, the game struggled to differentiate itself from established titles like Overwatch 2 and Valorant. Character designs were described as muddled, and many felt the game lacked innovation. Sales figures were disheartening. Within a week of launch, Concord had sold approximately 20,000 copies across both platforms. Concurrent player counts were alarmingly low, with fewer than 700 players on Steam at its peak. By September 3, 2024, Sony announced the game's servers would be taken offline, and all copies sold would be refunded. Just 2 weeks after its release, Concord was effectively dead. In the wake of Concord's failure, Sony made the difficult decision to shut down Firewalk Studios on October 29, 2024. Approximately 210 employees were affected, marking a somber chapter in the industry's history. Despite the game's short life, some lessons were gleaned. Sony acknowledged the need to adapt to the rapidly changing landscape of live service games and vowed to apply these insights to future projects. But wait! There's an end credits scene to this story. Back in August, before the game even launched, Tim Miller of Blur Studio, yes, the folks behind Love, Death, and Robots, announced an anthology show, Secret Level. Each episode would be a standalone story set in a game world. One of those episodes was Concord. Fast forward to December 17th, 2024. The Concord episode drops, and surprisingly, it's pretty good. New characters, better writing, solid action. More personality than the actual game ever had. It was a bittersweet moment. A glimpse of what could have been. So what killed Concord? A combination of bad timing, poor messaging, weak character design, and a price tag that alienated the exact audience it needed. Concord didn't just fail, it became a case study in how not to launch a live service hero shooter in 2024. Concord serves as a cautionary tale in the gaming industry. It underscores the challenges of entering a competitive market with high expectations and the importance of innovation and community engagement. While the game's story ended abruptly, its legacy offers valuable lessons for developers and players alike. Rest in peace, Concord. You were gone faster than your matchmaking times. If you like this breakdown, consider subscribing. I've got more deep dives into gaming's biggest flops and forgotten titles coming soon. Let me know in the comments, do you think Concord could have worked with a better launch? As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.